Mhm. I think we should be good to go. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna have a look because I think I have one of your MRs in my queue, possibly ready to review. I'm just gonna check that now. If not, there's a couple of things I've sort of just started working on. One that I'm hopefully almost done with, and another I want to pick up. Um, so let me just see. Oh no, you're just asking for some clarity on that one. So let me respond quickly while you're there and see if anyone else has got anything that they want to discuss or look at while I'm responding.
I
Morning,
think you're talking
Marco.
about my
Hello.
I guess.
Yeah, I'm just, in fact, let me share my screen real quick just while I'm replying on that one. But yeah, as I say, shout if you've got anything that you're looking at. There we go. So that's that one. Um, very quiet, so I don't know. Anyone got anything they want to look at? Jim, morning.
Good morning, good evening, good night.
Um, cool. Okay, I will share a couple of things that I'm looking at quickly then. So, number one, I just got the MR up for. Um, So there's a couple of reasons that we see some bot activity, for example, that kind of appears as if we've got any examples on our kind of contributor platform. Not malicious in any way, shape, or form, but just where, someone's got maybe a renovate bot or something that's appearing in this. Okay, so pretty good news. I don't think there's any that I can see there. Let me just look at the recognition. Um, okay, that's interesting. Okay, good. Yeah, no one immediately appearing on there, which is great. We do occasionally, if we see them pop up, we'll go in and we'll flag them as bots so that they don't appear anymore. So that's great. But yeah, so sometimes if a bot slips in, not a malicious one, but just one that's not a human, so we don't really want to award them credits and level them up and make them appear, etc. So um, what we've wanted to introduce for a little while is essentially that someone can level up automatically to level one and they get a couple of reward credits for the store. But then after that, they need to go through the onboarding process before they can kind of continue to progress. Um, so I've just drafted an MR for that. Um, what that looks like, I haven't actually tested locally, so I'll try and test that in a moment. Um, but essentially, we take a look at whether you're an approved community member. And where's my logic? If you are not, you're not already on the max level because if someone, Marco, for example, he might not have onboarded as a community contributor, but has already kind of reached the maximum level before we kind of introduced all this, then we don't want it to appear. And then last but not least, if your points are greater than the number of points you need to achieve the next contributor level. So if all of those things ring true, then we'll display a message to say that you need to start onboarding to level up. And we should have a spec in here which is much the same. So I'm ready to level up but not approved. So we say that they're currently level one, they've got 500 points, which is enough for level 2. But they're not an approved community member, then we're just checking that it says start onboarding to level up, and it shows the link that we expect. Then in the back end, our level up service that actually takes care of like issuing the awards and doing the reward credits and creating the issues, etc. Just basically skips if the level is greater than 1 and the user is not an approved community member. And then again, we've got a spec here where we've added a new test case, which is an unapproved level 2 contributor. By level 2, I mean they should be on level 2. They're currently on level 1. All of the other users we set as a community member, but not this unapproved level 2. And then we basically ensure that they don't get called, don't get leveled up, don't get rewarded. So that's where I've got to go on.
Would this theoretical mean that users could skip levels? They could stockpile points without being approved community and then go from level 1 to level 5?
Possibly.
Okay.
I haven't tried to see what would happen in that scenario. I think they could. I think that would work. And I think you can even do that already. Although I suppose it's almost impossible because we run this process so frequently. But technically, yeah, if you sort of reached level 2, I'm trying to think what you get. Yeah, you could do it if it is within like that 5-10 minute period or whatever that the integration pulls the data. You could probably already do that.
Okay.
So at the moment it's saying level 5 in minus whatever points. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just sharing my what's it at the moment. So let me just share the part of my screen. It should hopefully do the trick. And I'm going to have a look.
If someone who is not part of the community makes an MR or something,
Yeah,
does it encourage them to join the contributor platform?
that's a good question. Yeah, well, that's probably something we need to add some messaging as part of this, I think, to maybe when they get that initial level up, that we say that to continue to progress, you need to go through this process. Don't let me forget that. Let's do a to-do. Add messaging in level 1 reward issue and or elsewhere. So, for example, when an MR gets merged, there's a little note that gets added to the bottom to say, like, find yourself on the leaderboard and figure out how to level up and stuff like that. So that messaging might already be okay, but we might be able to or want to tweak it a little bit. I think the problem is that messaging might come from triage ops and not from the contributor platform. So trying to get this logic in there might be a little bit tricky.
Now, triage ops might not know.
Exactly. So let's just see if I can find my user. So I'm currently level 4. But because I'm a team member is currently why this is showing this slightly weird whatever, or because I'm not sure actually. But let's have a look if I've got so this is my user ID, so community. We can do, I think approved community member is true. So I should be able to community member dot delete dot find dot delete. Okay, and now and false. So let's check that first of all. Okay, so that's not updated it yet. Let's have a look at the data we get back. Actually, view dev tools would be better to look at this, wouldn't it? So application, view data, approved community member is false. Contributor level is 4.140. So yeah, I would expect this to be showing that message. What am I missing? What am I missing? So level progress. I'm just gonna save this to check. So, yeah, okay, that's why it was. I've made these changes outside of the Docker container, not inside the Docker container, so it hadn't loaded the latest changes. Okay, so that looks good. Other than the fact that I don't like the fact that this blue is different to this blue, is that just because it's visited versus not visited? Or oh, and the link isn't working either, which is interesting, even though it's done what it should do. So I'm going to reload, that comes up. But that isn't doing what I want it to do. Okay,
It should just be /start, not /start.
Not quite. So /start would cause a full page reload, a full like server round trip, whereas #start is able to work locally within the Vue app, the single page application.
It's like the anchors in Markdown.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So you can see when you click, well, you can't actually see, but I'll show you the code quickly. So if we look for a start onboarding, no, not there, start onboarding in a Vue file somewhere. So, okay, so interesting, that's actually using this, which just does a kind of shortcut. Manage issue page, though, does do a link, yeah, a button that routes to the home page with the start anchor. As does this one, as does this one and this one. So they all do that same thing. I suspect. No, I don't know actually why that's not picking up.
Does the cancel reset the local variable to show the modal?
Does cancel. Which cancel, sorry?
I mean, if you refresh the page, so the where you have the start onboarding modal open.
So if I do that,
And now we have a show onboarding modal variable or something like that, which is
yeah,
true. And
yeah.
if you put cancel, it should be false, but maybe it is not resetting. I didn't look at the code, just
I think what's actually happening is in homepage we check the hash on mount, and we're not mounting. It's already mounted, so we need to kind of trigger this on navigation, I think, as well. So I don't know if we should just do something like const would it be I can't think of a good name now. Consider displaying onboarding modal. Move this into here. And then we can call that from here, but we could also call it from, we could add a watch or something maybe to the root, I think, I hope. I also wonder, personally, I prefer, I don't know why I did it like this in the first place, to do guard clause rather than like that, rather than nesting everything. Okay, so yeah, what would a watch? See if code suggestions is being good. No, it's not. Let's try. So I have found Duo a bit funny inside the container, so I'm just going to ask it outside quickly. So if we open up homepage, and you add a watch to root query specifically to trigger. Probably should have started a new chat really, shouldn't I, rather than this one that's got nothing to do with. Right, so we're importing watch and watch root.query. Oh, well, I mean, it looks simple and good, but does it actually work? Let's find out. Okay, so let's start onboarding. Yeah, beautiful. I still don't like this. Looks like it's a different color to this. I'm just going to have a quick look to see why. So this is getting its color because it's a primary link. Whereas this link further down is
Seems to be secondary.
yeah, but I'm trying to figure out where it's getting its color from because it's saying gray. Oh, SVG. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong place. Looking at the wrong place. Let's okay. Ah, yeah. So this is just an anchor. But this is specifically a link primary. So where is it getting link primary from? Whoops. I don't really know. That looks like its default behavior for B-link. Because I don't think I'm telling it to. Oh no, I am. Okay, that's can I blame AI for that? That's better. That's better. Cool. Goes to there. That still works nicely. Cool. So the only gripe is calling that method something a little bit slightly more meaningful. I mean, should I just call it display? Even though it does the conditional bit inside, does that upset anyone? I'll take that as a no then. Cool.
It
Okay,
looks
so
wonderful.
go on, Dennis. I think you're gonna.
I mean, if we want to play the naming game, then I feel a bit that start onboarding handler and display onboarding modal is a bit conflicting.
Yeah.
But in general, I'm not that
So
strong
what we
about those.
could
So
probably do now is actually do away with this.
yeah.
But then we've got this check that says if you're signed in, do this, otherwise go to that. Okay, so we could move this into here. And instead of start onboarding handler, we can call display onboarding mode. Oh no, we can't because this let me just see if any of these cards use 2. I think that should work, so we should be able to use 2 instead. Click. And it would just be not query hash. Let's try that. Okay, so I'm here. Start onboarding. That looks promising. And if I'm not logged in, so let's just check this one still works. That still works. If I'm not logged in, and I click start boarding. Oh, that was a bit freaky. So it popped up. But then redirected. I think that's okay. Is it? Maybe we just need to add a return. So in here. Didn't need that anymore, did I? That was the problem. So if it's not start, we don't want to do anything. If we're not signed in, we want to go through the sign-in process. Otherwise, we check if we've got a referrer. We set the onboarding modal to true, and we get rid of that hash from the URL as well. Cool.
Watch out for the double semicolon on line 38.
Thank you. Okay, so start onboarding. That looked like it went quicker. It didn't pop up the modal first. Oh, no, it did. Just make sure, was I editing in the right? So, yeah, let's return there. And then see how many tests I've broken. That's better. That's better. Okay. Need to set up a note OAuth app at some point because I rotated the tokens because I leaked them on this pairing session last week. So that looks good from that point of view. So we want to npm run test homepage. That's not right, is it? Homepage spec. Good. I would be annoyed if no tests were failing after making that change. And what about this one? Okay, that one's still passing good. So for the home page, onboarding modal. So we're saying defaults to false. That's good. Clicking start onboarding. Action button sets the modal to true. So we find action and we trigger action click we're not using. Or are we? No, we're not anymore. So I think everything now works off of the anchor. So we probably need, have we got a use router and use route? Use mock route, hash. So why is this one failing? Maybe because they're not signed in. Oh no, username is Lee, so it should be. Let's just, this one should be easier to fix, I think. Okay, so is it hitting this? Yes. Is it hitting this? Yes. So why? Oh, okay. So the wrappers already is created here once, but then it's created here again. So it might be a bit of a false positive. So we'll say A, B. Okay, so we are definitely hitting B, which is good.
Yeah, probably not signed in.
Correct. So similar to here where we pass username, let's pass username.
Shouldn't
Can't
it
you
be
just
on the create
remove?
wrapper?
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Shouldn't it be on the create wrapper instead of the mock
Yes,
replace?
it should.
But what happens if you don't call create wrapper again?
Good question. Oh yeah, because
Yeah,
we're
it
watching
fails.
that now. So what if we add because it should be reactive, right? So
Yeah, but you are mocking the replace.
okay. Yeah.
So
So if we call use router dot replace, maybe should that? Oh no, no, that should. Yeah, I don't know because it's
Should be
not.
the same.
I just don't think it's reactive. We have done it somewhere else. Let's have a look. Reactive route, I think we call it. So yeah, we have to make it reactive, I think. So we could try stealing that. reactive root we set before each. We haven't got before each here. Let's okay, so we've got reactive root. We're setting it in before each, but that's not what we want it set to. We want query to be empty and hash to be null. And then we want use root to return reactive root. That one. Don't think we need this anymore.
Are you using replace instead of your component?
I don't know. Let me just, so push, still this. Instead of one push, right? And the only thing we should be pushing is hash. And we want to set hash equal to hash. I don't know if this feels a bit wonky for some reason. Okay, so it's not immediately exploding. So was yeah, so it's,
On the other test, you're setting that on the before each.
okay. But I need to probably call it still, right? So here we should be doing yeah, I don't know whether we should be calling replace or just setting reactive root. I think just setting not quite, not quite. What do we do? I might need to call router dot push. Let's see what we do in here. Clicking filter, period drop down. We're not manipulating it directly at all in here. I'm trying to think of one that we do. Oh, so we got reactive routing. Yeah, so we call it directly here.
Before calling create wrapper.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So what else have I? Still feel like that should trigger. So we've got, let's just see where it's getting to again in here. Okay, so A and B, but it's never getting to C. So it's like that's not triggering the watch, right? When we call reactive, when we modify reactive root dot hash. Not sure if I even need to mock that. Yes, I guess I do. Okay, this is going down a bit of a rabbit hole.
What if you try to call the create wrapper after, like it was before, just to see if that works?
Yeah. Okay, so that does work. But yeah, so that's like doing a page load or a component mount with the root, that already in the root. So it's kind of testing this path. So we kind of want, oh, that's interesting. I don't know how that was even working. Shouldn't be root.query, right?
Yeah. No, hash.
Yeah. But then now that's caused it to fail, which is even weirder. Ah, and now it. Okay. Sort of progress, very confusing. Let's test if it actually works again quickly. So the test is passing. Let's see if I've broken all the other tests. This is production. And I can't log in because I don't have an app configured. So let me just set up an app. Just going to stop sharing while I do that for a second. Applications. This we'll call it contributor platform. And what's the redirect URL? Localhost / OAuth something or other. OAuth / authorize, I think. No, it's not that. That's not the return, is it? OAuth callback. That's it. Right. And what permission do we give it? Just read user, I think, right? Okay, so I have a secret. And I should have an Apple ID. Good. Then I need to rebuild container, I think. While that's loading, let's see if I remove the only. Okay, so that's still working. We knew this one. We knew this one was broken, but we can figure that out in a second. Okay, so we're here. We'll log in work. Fingers crossed. Beautiful. Awesome. Okay, so start onboarding still displays that. Start onboarding still displays that. Cool. So we didn't break it. How it was working before, I have no idea. So the one we need to fix now is clicking on the start onboarding action button sets the modal to true. So start onboarding action card. Yeah, I don't think I can really trigger that anymore because it's not really emitting an event. The navigation is happening, so I think we just get rid of that entirely. The thing that we do need is kind of like navigating to start hash sets modal true, but we also need one where it's already that, which is where it was failing, I think, a minute ago, where we set that there and then we call this, I think. Yeah, so why is that? Why is that failing? When we create the wrapper, we're not resetting the root at all. So let's do a console log here. And I wonder if mount isn't getting called. Quite sure what the method is to. Aha, passing. So it's because it's already mounted. So by unmounting it, setting the root and mounting it. That does the trick. And at this point, it begs the question, should we not mount it before each? Because that's just meaning we're having to jump through hoops. So we've got a scenario where we navigate to it and the scenario where we're already on it before we create the wrapper. That's good. So where is this? Action card. Is the syntax like that? And does it still work? Okay, so I can start onboarding from there, it works. Start onboarding from there, it works. And if I try and do my profile, add an event, start onboarding from there works as well. Awesome. Okay, so that's looking quite promising. So we've still got some messaging to do. I think that's all we've got left, I hope. So yeah, when we let's open triage ops quickly. which I can't find. So in here, we have really surprised not to find level up in there. Contributors, GitLab. I think it's this one. So when MR is merged, we ask for some feedback and we say, check your spot on the contributor leaderboard and unlock rewards. We also, come to think of it, we do in the thank you contribution, where's that one? We say something about did you know about our community forks? Working from there will make your contribution process easier. So it's not really a check that whether they're onboarded or not, but if they're using the forks, technically they are onboarded. If they're not, chances are they're not. So we could maybe consider tweaking that messaging a little bit, but we're not going to know for real whether someone's onboarded or not. We haven't got quite the same data as we have here. So here, when we do the level up, so I don't know what it'd be, reward service. Rewards issue description. It's interesting. Oh, I see what's happening. I see what's happening. So in this rewards issue, we could add something in here that checks whether or not they're onboarded. And if they're not, could add some messaging to say something about onboarding. So let me so where would it fit? You have to select choices. Track your impact. I guess it wants to be quite high up, right? Like almost here.
Maybe even before, right after telling them they got credits.
Yeah. And this would be. Now we have got this available as a environment variable now, but I'm not going to break tradition, I don't think, for the moment, and keep that.
Isn't it hash star?
No, so hash start is when you're in the front end already, and it allows the front end to display the modal without a server round trip. If you're reading this issue or this email, then you're already going to have to make a server round trip, if that makes sense. So we direct straight to there. And then if that will determine if you're logged in, and it will render the view app. And if you're not logged in, it will redirect you to the OAuth process.
You should change the brackets.
Is this supposed to be the round ones and they're supposed to be
Yeah.
the square ones?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not. It's that's not what's wrong. This is supposed to be in here.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. To continue to level up. Start your onboarding now. Onboarding now. I don't know if that just sounds aggressive or and this we want conditional, right? So actually we could this is where it becomes tricky. So we could put it in a another include, which we can conditionally render depending on whether they are a community member or not. Or we could just bring it into the note.
I would keep it separate from the node.
Okay. So there was the rewards issue. Yeah, that's a pain. I suppose we could do this. I don't know how much I hate or love this. So this is a string. If now have we got access to the user? Probably not. So we've got the user ID. But we haven't got the user. So we're going to have to load the user at this point, really, I think. So
Well,
one
maybe
thing,
not part of the node, but still some other thing from here.
oh, so you're saying let's make it a variable.
Yeah, to avoid having one thing to do many things.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what would it be?
Onboarded advice.
Yeah. Actually, let's just start onboarding. Message, does it really need? It doesn't really need. And then here, oh, that's gonna kill my OCD. Don't need to do it in there. Or do we? Because it's a read only. I don't know if you can only set it in the initializer. It doesn't look like it.
And you use the global variable now for the URL?
So because we've set it as a, I mean, yeah, arguably, I don't know how I feel about that. because this is causing it to wrap onto a line, it's hurting my OCD. We don't need the global variable when it's got an accessor. But if this means that I can then get rid of the accessor, yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Let's just see what we've broken. Rewards create service. Lots. So is that when it's trying to render? I think it is. Because we only conditionally define this, we do actually need to do. Oh, this is horrible. I'll ask Duo in a second to help me make this not so horrible. So if that oh, my brain cannot. If that else, that should fix that. No. So
I think
why?
it's used somewhere without the at. Like the error, it's start onboarding only, not at start onboarding.
I don't know. Did I not save? I maybe didn't save. Thank you. Yes, so now I might be able to undo this. Try that. Unless if. Cool. Cool. That's better. Okay, so everything's passing, which is okay, but not perfect. I'd like to have seen something failing. So create gift voucher, creates expected rewards issue. Oh wow. So all we're testing at the moment, I think, is that it calls that it news up. No, that's not right. What am I missing? That's all we're checking. That it news up the Brilliant service. That it news up the GitLab REST service. We're not checking. See, here we're at least checking that it's calling it with the right sort of arguments. I will have to call time in a second, but let's just get a little bit further. So it's calling new. So we're allowing GitLab REST service instance. So I should really be checking that to have received. I'm guessing it's something like create issue. So Cool. Okay, so that's been called. And at this point, we can do issue. No, not that one. Issues. So create issue the first, second, the third property. We should probably check them all anyway, but yeah, let's do them all. Let's do them all. So we can expect the user ID to call that, expect the title. Because we're not checking any of this at the moment, right? I don't think I'm missing that. Description. Maybe we'll include here. Okay, so good. So user ID is going to be, have we got access to that? Should have user.id. Okay. Title should be that. Oh, I hate when that happens. Oh no, it's because I need doubles. Hopefully that one passes. Project. That. And description's not failing because there must be a one in there somewhere. A very fluky, yeah, very fluky one. So if I expect it to have this in here. Still passes, good. Do I really need that? Okay. So yeah, we can do a separate one to say context when the user has already onboarded. And we can create a community member for the user. Just do it in an init block. Yeah. This one. We will just check the description and I can never remember not to like that. Cool. That looks promising. So creates reward issue without onboarding advice. With onboarding advice. Does that seem like an okay? Why has package log got changes? Okay, like first iteration. So the level progress will display the start onboarding to level up message. The what have we changed here? So we changed it so that clicking on that link will work, and we updated the tests. We fixed that warning, create service for the rewards issue. That was just a housekeeping thing, but we now define the start onboarding variable, which we use in there if we need to, and the test. Yeah, cool. Just ask, yeah, I'll push it up, ask Duo for a review and go from there. Awesome.
Great.
Have a great day, everyone, and hopefully catch you next week.